In this video, I'll be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hype, and FARTCOIN. I'll be giving my thought process on potential entry triggers for longs or short positions, and just my general thoughts and opinions on the markets as a whole. There's really two main levels to be aware of on Bitcoin. Level number one is 106.1k, and level number two is 99k, maybe 99.1k if you're feeling frisky. There's been a lot of price action around this 106.1k level, which for me solidifies that it will continue to remain a key level going forward. So with something like that and a key level like that, I use a very basic point of view. If price is above the level, I'm looking for long positions. If price is below the level, I'm looking for shorts or no position at all if there's external factors. Now, something to consider is the external factors that we have had over the last, week, where we went from tariff headlines to now war headlines, which is frustrating in itself. But when there's overhead headline risk as well as some weird price action, typically I will sit out and not enter into many trades. Also, as you can see here, I just have highlighted the equilibrium at 102.6k, and all that is I take out my fib tool, go from the bottom of the range to the top, and wherever 50% of the trading range is, I put a horizontal and extend it to the left, and I see the interactions with the level. Now for this trading range, the equilibrium appears to be an important level as well, so it's also worth considering or worth being aware of the level there at 104.3. Let's now go down to the H4 timeframe and see if we can get a better understanding of the recent price action here. So we have consolidation below the level, which was great. Everything was going very well there. We reclaimed the level. Vibes were high. Things were looking good. But now, unfortunately, we have failed at the level. So also, what this is telling me, the chop at this level is telling me is typically on the first reclaim of a level, I'll tend to size a bit higher just for some data I have surrounding that. But then when it turns into chop at the level, I'll take a step back and I won't be as aggressive with my position sizing. I won't buy on the first H1 close above the level. I'll give it some time, see what's happening before entering into the position. So right now, I would say that this is what you would call diddling in the middle, where there's really no clear direction. Yes, price is below this all-important 106.1k level, but it's not far away enough from the level where it's really impactful. It's not close enough to the level where it's impactful either. We're kind of just existing somewhere in the middle of two levels. So a potential setup that could be brewing here is, you guys know I love my consolidations and reclaims, so maybe consolidation below the equilibrium would be ideal. So something like this, I would look to long the reclaim of the equilibrium there. Or again, if price is above that 106.1k level, we could see a potential reclaim long argument on a reclaim of this level. Now again, because price has chopped this level up a bit, I wouldn't be as aggressive with my long positioning, but nonetheless, I will still look for a long above the level. I'll just be a bit more cautious than I typically would if it was just on the first reclaim, like I said. But right now, we're just diddling in the middle, so it's worth chilling out, seeing how these war headlines go, and sitting back and letting the market do its thing. If you watch my last stream, you'll know that I've been very, very cautious of Ethereum within this red box. We did see a rejection from there, but overall, we are still within our daily consolidation period. So yes, while price did reject and the lower time frame chart may look a bit ugly right now, we are still overall in a daily consolidation period, which I definitely think is worth noting. When that would be invalid and price has broken the consolidation period is if and when dailies begin to close below 2360 or so. So if we get daily closes below there, then that's the level where I would say I'd look for short positions or just not look for longs and just kind of sit out and see what happens. Also, what could brew below there is a consolidation period and then a reclaim of the range lows, which again, as you all know, is a setup that I love to take. So that's why if and when price were to fall below the daily consolidation range, I wouldn't really be looking too short. Overall, the trend is still up, so I'd still be looking for long positions instead of taking a counter trend trade. On the H4 time frame here, you could see how this consolidation period has been going. We've been rejecting from the bottom of red on several occasions. Finally, we broke out deeper into red, but then rejected very similarly as well. The positive here is we have not made new local lows from the low here. So the breakout was here, low was set here, and we haven't made a new low from that. But the good part about that is I could use that for a potential entry trigger, where if and when price retests the low of the daily range and maybe even sweeps lows in here, then that would be a long setup that I would definitely be willing to take. So the thought process for that would be, if price rolls over here, we get a sweep of the low right here, reclaim the level, the trigger is on the reclaim, and I would be in a long position based on that reclaim. And of course, the target for a long position on something like that would be to the bottom of red, would be take profit 1, and the invalidation point would be the low before the reclaim. And that's all. Very straightforward. Let's move on to Hype. Hype has been pretty much the people's coin since inception, especially over the last few weeks when price has been essentially up only and continuing to break out from these daily consolidations and these daily just grinding up. We are currently breaking down from the most recent daily consolidation period. A key level that I want to highlight and put on everyone's radar is the previous rejection point and the previous breakout point at 39.3. Okay, so very basic. You guys know I love my basic explanations, but if and when price reclaims that 39.2 level, 39.3, I will look to enter into a long position. In terms of any other levels on the daily time frame, unfortunately, the daily for this chart doesn't really give me too much to work with. There's no real consolidation period like something like in here. All down here, price was just grinding up. All in here, price was chopping at the level. I mean, maybe I could highlight something like this, and that would be fine. We have the lows set before the highs are set. We have a deviation or consolidation below the level before a reclaim, bounce above the level before a move higher. So maybe that's also a level to be aware of at this 33.1 level as well. So as long as price is holding above that level, I would look for long positions as well. Unfortunately, price is now pretty decently far away from this 39.2 level, and it's decently far away from that daily level that could be something at 33.2 as well. So unfortunately, I think this is going to be one where we have to sit back and wait. Regardless though, I really like this reclaim of 39 if and when that happens. So typically I don't really care what happens below here, especially if it doesn't really hit this daily level. That's perfectly fine. Maybe we just chop some more in here and then eventually reclaim that level. That will be my long trigger. Again, it's just all in the video that I've already uploaded to this channel, the setup I look for, but really I don't care what's going to happen below here. Now I will care if this next daily level is tapped, where you can see now on the H4 time frame, then that level makes a bit more sense, where we have a support and resistance flip at the H4. We have a consolidation period as well that you can see clearly on the H4. So it's less of like a guess level and more of like a level that could actually work. For something like this though, and one that I'm not too crazy confident in, it could work, it may not. I would prefer to see the reaction of the level and kind of react myself based on that, because it could go for a sweep of these lows in here, close above, that would be a long trigger. It could go for another consolidation somewhere in here, reclaim, that's a long trigger. So again, I'm looking for pretty much the same exact setups, but how I react to price reacting to levels is very different depending on the level. And finally, FARTCOIN. This is a massively important daily retest on FARTCOIN, where we have a very clear daily level. We have a consolidation deviation below the level before a significant breakout, and price has now been bleeding down into the level with a potential for a reaction at the level. So if and when this daily is lost, this overall daily argument really relies on this consolidation period holding. If a daily candle closes below this low, that would mean that the long argument is invalid, and that could open up the argument for even lower prices. And I would say those lower prices would be somewhere in here. Yeah, somewhere in there. Looks decent. We have the breakout point. We have consolidation above the level after the breakout. We have a retest of the breakout point before eventually moving much higher. So I like that level for FARTCOIN if and when it really comes down to it. This is not in play yet because, you know, we obviously haven't had the full daily close below the level and below the low here at 0.85. But Still, it's a level that you should be aware of and one that could come into play if this 1.03 level fails to hold or fails to provide a significant reaction. Now, how would I play something like this? Well, I'd wait for the reaction. We have lows in here that are in the process of potentially being swept with this H4 candle. It's really tough to do significant analysis on a day like today because it is a holiday. The stock market is closed today for some burger holiday. So unfortunately, when there's a holiday and when there's weekends and stuff like that, the volume will be lower than expected. But regardless, I'm still looking for some kind of reaction from this level. This is still going to be an important level. So whether it's a reaction from here, whether it's some consolidation below here like this, but that happens right here, and then reclaims the level, then I'll enter into a position. I'm looking for the same exact setups. That's all. Very basic trading. Basic is easy. I'm looking for basic setups. I'm not trying to overcomplicate things. In addition to the confluence we have here, we also have the confluence of it being the $1 level. So that's some, you could argue, some psychological level as well. So that's also working in favor for the FARTCOIN enjoyers like myself. So overall, we'll see what happens with FARTCOIN. This is a massive daily retest. Like I said, I would love to see a reaction from here, especially because reactions from this level are typically pretty significant. So that is on my radar pretty highly. So we'll see. And that's pretty much it for the overall market review. I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like the video, subscribe if you enjoyed and you want to see more content, and I will see you guys in the next video or the next stream. Thank you. Take care.